Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. So glad to be with you all today. And I'm telling you, every time I get together with this amazing community, I am so blessed. I'm so grateful. And just want to let you know that. And today's like no other time. We are here, by the way, every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. You know, it's interesting because I'm getting ready to go to New York to speak at a cancer conference coming up soon. And I am really, really excited about the opportunity to go to New York. But that's where New York is where the #RussSelfie all began. If you want to know more about that, you need to hang around every week and listen in because I will tell you that story again at some point. And so anyway, just wanted to put a little teaser out there, but I'm just so thankful to be here today. You know, Marketing with Russ started a long time ago. We are 400 plus episodes, losing track. It's on the, you see it on the ads out there. There's a lot of great value and beautiful things that we've been able to do. This show's all about how amazing people connect. And my friend and co-host D. Scott Smith of some of my other live streams is on with me today. And I love having Scott on. He's amazing. So he is definitely an amazing, amazing person and connector. So he is perfect for this show. And I want to let you know that I love to connect with all of you. If we haven't connected, please go to russhedge.com. I keep it simple, russhedge.com for all my information and connection links. If you want to know about my inspirational speaking, if you want to know about my marketing, coaching, live stream producing, all the things that I do, you can go to russhedge.com. But also, you can connect with me via social media, email, phone number. You can even schedule time directly on my calendar to Zoom with me. I would love for you to do that. I just love connecting with people. Also, if you'd be such a blessing as to subscribe on my YouTube page. And you know what? So I kept the website easy. You know my name, russhedge.com. Well, to subscribe on YouTube, you just have to know the name of this show, marketingwithruss.live. There you go. Marketingwithruss.live is where you go. It takes you straight to my YouTube page. You can open a separate tab right now even. Do it. Open up a separate tab and subscribe today because what do you get? Just hundreds and hundreds of amazing people with amazing value. And it's such a blessing to me. And every week, all my friends are so amazing. I am just blessed and honored to have such great friends. So, and that are so valuable and offer so much, not only for me, but for everybody. Okay. So also love it if you'd share this out while we're going over the show today. Share and tag your friends. If you put the little @ sign in there and tag your friends, guess what? Then you'll alert them because we're all busy and they're going to say, oh, hey, wait, Marketing with Russ is on and I don't want to miss Scott today. So make sure and share and tag your friends. I would really, really appreciate that. You know, this is just a blessed time and I'm so thankful that I get to be here with Scott, but there's a couple more things we need to do today. And so we're going to talk about that next. And that is I want to remind you that my books are all available at russhedge.com. That's right. So you go right there, or you could go on Amazon or any online booksellers and find those as well. Love for you to get the book Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, be encouraged, inspired to live a life of purpose and significance. Or you can get some of the collaborative books I got. Tell a little bit about my cancer story, about other things in my life. I'd love for you to pick one of those up. They're all available, russhedge.com, buy book now, or go to Amazon. Like I said, that would be great. Also, every Monday and Thursday, we always do a marketing tip of the day. And, really, this is so amazing because it's a short little snippet for you to inspire you, really, to think of the things that really are the foundation of life and business. So today is no different. And I told you how grateful I am for many, many things, all of you. But this is your marketing tip. You ready? Okay. This gets cut out, by the way, and put out separately on social media, YouTube Shorts, all that. So you can watch it standalone, share it standalone after we're done. So, anyway, here we go. This is your marketing tip of the day. Be grateful. That's right. It's that simple. Be grateful. When you are grateful and thankful of other people, they see that, and it also lifts you up. It makes you more intentional about all that you do, because when you're thankful and grateful for what you have, what God has blessed you with, it helps you to be more focused. It helps you to grow because you're already starting from a positive platform. When you start from a positive foundation, and I always start from a God foundation first, start from a positive foundation and you grow from there. Well, if that's a positive foundation of gratefulness and thankfulness for all that you've been given, all you've been blessed with, then it's going to help you just launch to the next level. So I want to encourage you, start with that. I do it every day. First thing I do before I get out of bed is say how grateful and thankful I am to God, for all the blessings in my life, for my beautiful wife and family. I do that every day. And I thank God for all of my wonderful friends, all of you out there watching today. So when you do that, helps you to want to work with other people, do new creative things, expand. And that is your marketing tip of the day. All right, there we go. So that's your marketing tip. And, I just want to say, everybody, before I get Scott in the room, that I could not be more grateful for all of you, for your prayers, for your blessings on me and my life. And so just want to tell you that and tell you how much I appreciate you. So with that, let's get Scott in the room and get rolling. Hey, Scott.
Well, Russ, everyone is grateful for you and all that you do and all that you are, who you are. So blessings to you from around the world, and definitely for me. This is a little bit different because normally we're co-hosting. And
Right.
today I'm in a new chair. I get to be the guest.
Well, and you're a great host and a great guest. And for that one person somewhere around the world that doesn't already know you, Scott, tell us, who is Scott and what are you up to?
Wow. Okay. So to that one person out there, whoever you are, I always love that, Russ. You're very gracious. I always think about Johnny Cash, and I love when he would get up on stage. And here's a man who had so many hit songs, so many albums in movies. He was an advisor to the president, and he'd get up and say, "Hi, I'm Johnny Cash," because he never assumed that people knew who he was. So, hi, I'm Scott Smith. And I'm a new resident of Waco, Texas. Happened to be move over here just recently, and I'll just say my wife and I felt called to be here, and that is why it says the Waco Experience down below. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but I've been hosting shows with Russ for years, having graduated with him on the same day at Oregon State University back in 1987, even though we didn't know each other until years later because of our involvement with the Chamber of Commerce. But I help businesses that need that chief of staff, somebody who can be a generalist, help them through with anything from marketing to operations to sales and human resources, all those different things. Generally, businesses that have 20 or fewer employees. But the new thing for me is starting up a new radio show here that'll be a podcast as well called The Waco Experience in American Story.
Well, I love that because what I love about you, Scott, is that you moved and jumped right in. You're not waiting. You're not waiting for things to happen. You're making things happen. And I think that is a lesson that everybody should learn. Don't wait for things to happen. Make things happen. I think God gave us 2 feet, 2 arms and hands and all of that to actually do things, right? To take action. Doesn't mean we don't trust God and think that great things are going to happen, which I do, but at the same time, we need to actually put steps to our prayers. I always say, to our plans and all of those things. So, and I love what you're doing there. And so I really want to talk more about it. I want to learn more about it too, because I'm just getting all the information. So this whole Waco experience, what exactly is that all going to be about?
Sure, absolutely. And just talking about God providing the opportunities, and God will unlock doors, but not all of those doors are like Star Trek doors that you walk up to and they automatically open, right?
Right.
Sometimes you have to push. And so, as I said, we were traveling around, and my wife and I Christine and I have been to a lot of communities over the years. And for some reason, we just felt drawn, and I say called, to Waco. And then we said, okay, but how are we going to show up when we get there? Why are we being called there? So I looked at what you and I are doing, specifically with our show, The Local Experience, where we focus on believers in business. And having been on the board with Extra Mile Media, which is the for-profit portion of Hope 107.9 Radio and KWIL, there in Albany, I just looked at what could we put together here. And so I got onto the FCC website looking for radio stations, specifically Christian radio stations that were locally owned. And I found one here, and I reached out to the owner and pitched the idea of the Waco Experience, an American Story. And he liked it, and it's going to be starting in October, Saturday morning at 8:30 Central Time, or as I heard on the radio on another program, they said 8:30 Texas Standard Time.
Well, I love that, by the way. And that 8:30 slot is a good slot because that's when the Experience Local actually broadcasts here Pacific Daylight Time on KYKN here in Salem, where I live. And so that's a great slot. So anyway, Scott, I love that. So you pitched this idea, you told him what you wanted to do. I'm guessing you're going to be reaching out to the local businesses. This is a good way to get to know people too in the community, isn't it?
Yeah. So this is Marketing with Russ, and you always have these great marketing tips. One of the tips that and rules that I use is I always start with the we believe statements or the I believe statements. So whenever we get involved with a project, whenever I work with a business, I want to know, what are the fundamentals that we believe? What is it that we're trying to accomplish? And I'll say that the Waco Experience, an American Story, starts with my involvement with the Chamber of Commerce, where we met. So I was on the board with the Corvallis Chamber 9 years. And part of that was writing the strategic plan for the chamber. And one of the things that I discovered through that process was that chambers of commerce are the one place in the universe where business, government, and nonprofit all sit at the same table, having the same goal to make their community nice. But they have different tool sets. And so the Waco Experience, an American Story, I'll be interviewing leaders in business, government, and nonprofits because they all provide jobs, products and services, and infrastructure. And so we'll be able to get into the story, but although it's Waco focused, it's a story that applies to communities all across America.
Yeah, well, I love that. I love that because things that people can apply to their own area, just like we were doing with the Experience Local. Yes, we're talking about the local area here. focus in on their local area, just like you're saying, dealing with your economy and your infrastructure and all the things that you've got going on in the local area. And I just love that. So do you have your first episode planned out, Scott?
Well, so what we've been doing is gathering the sponsorship. And so just like the Experience Local and the Experience Live with Russ and Scott, we have sponsorships for this. So it'll be on the AM plus 3 FM transmitters, then on a podcast as well as the social media. So there's lots of exposure, and then the businesses it'll also be promoted on digital advertising as well. So lots of opportunities there. So we've been working primarily right now on the sponsors, and I'll just say Cord Buddy, limelily.com, Friends for Life, Biddy and Bose, and probably College Hunks Hauling Junk. And those are our first 5 sponsors for the October episodes. So it'll launch the first weekend in October.
That is so great. That is so great. Boy, I tell you, like I say, you have, because first weekend of October is going to be here before you know it. And I will be in New York on that weekend. And so super excited about that. Yeah, it's, there's a lot of great things happening. So you got into Waco. Let's just back up a little bit. You got into Waco. Are you guys all moved in, and how are things, are you starting to figure it out a little bit? What's going on here? Do you know where the grocery store is?
Yeah, we are just right off the downtown in Waco, 2 blocks from the Brazos River, and kitty corner from Cameron Park in a townhouse. So we're really happy with where we're at. All of our stuff got moved in, and for anyone who's moved, there is no correlation between moving and settling. So all the stuff is here, but finding it was the challenge, right? Although you think I'm going to be so clever the way I label this stuff and put these things together, it's still just a mess trying to open the boxes and find this stuff. And the first thing was to build my desk and office and Christine's desk and office so that we could get to work. Well, we had to put the bed up, so I had a place to sleep, but everything else has been as you need. And but Christine has been working really hard getting the house, the kitchen, and all that stuff put together. So we're getting close to being settled.
Well, that's good. That's good. And you guys isn't there a river you're close to there? I mean, I thought there was no rivers in Waco, but I guess there is one, huh?
Yeah, Brazos, Brazos, Brazos River flows all the way down to the Gulf. And so you can get on your paddleboard and end out in the golf course, in the Gulf at Corpus Christi. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well, I am just super excited about the Waco experience, this whole thing coming up. It's just going to be once a week, right?
Yeah, so it'll be a weekly show. It'll be air on Saturday, and then it'll be out on podcast, and we'll put out a version on social media as well. But for the most part, people will be able to find it as a podcast each week. And of course, it'll be on all of your favorite podcast platforms.
That is so awesome. Well, I think that is great because around the world, I'm sure that people can actually listen online because you said it is part of a radio network online, but then also podcasting, everybody's so used to. A lot of times that's easier because then people can just listen to it on their own time schedule. And as we know, everybody's busy. So that's a definite plus. So, okay. So one more question about that whole Waco experience. What is kind of you've given us what you're looking at and the things you're going to go after and talk about, but what is the real flavor of Waco? Because everybody just thinks Waco is Chip and Joanna Gaines. So give us a little bit more flavor of Waco here. What more should we be interested in about Waco?
So if you wanted to find Waco here in Texas, and there's a lot of Texas, so it could easily be lost. Dallas up north and Austin south, and Waco was really the gas station stop between the two. So as people were traveling between the two the Austin, of course, is the state capital, and Dallas is the big business capital, made famous by oil. Really, is what put a lot of that on the map. And so there's a lot of transportation in between, and so Waco formed around that. It's actually celebrating this is the 175th anniversary of Waco,
Hmm.
and there's been a lot of economic development here. Baylor University is a private university, and they have a huge impact in the community. There's a lot of business and industry here. That right down the street, just I can walk to the Dr. Pepper Museum because this is where Dr. Pepper was founded. So there's a lot of
Wow.
interesting things. There's different industries here. One block over from me is the world headquarters for a group called Neighborly, and they focus on franchises for trades. So if you see Mr. Rooter, that's a Neighborly franchise, or maybe Air Reserve. You'll see billboards for Air Reserve or their trucks. That's an HVAC franchise that's out. So they have quite a number of those around. And world headquarters is right here. So there's a lot of different industries. We were over by the SpaceX facility just a couple of nights ago. And so there's a lot of stuff going on in the area economically. The downtown is going through a 12-year revitalization process. They're just beginning that. So there's a lot of stuff going on that'll include new venues, new opportunities for businesses. So there's just a lot of different things going on. And then in the greater Waco area, there's over 1,600 nonprofit organizations. So when you look at all of this, you've got business, government, nonprofit, again, all working to make this a nice community, but they have different tool sets. So it's the same in every community. So in Corvallis, Salem, that area, in different areas in Ohio or Kansas or Idaho, there are communities like Waco that have opportunities. So although this is the Waco experience, it is an American story,
Yeah.
and communities across the country will be able to relate to this.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Well, this also shows you and I have a lot of similarities, but a lot of differences. One of those differences is you already know about every detail about Waco. You have all the statistics, you have all the details. I tell you, you ask me about Salem, I say it's pretty. We have the Willamette River. We're an hour from the coast. We're an hour from the mountains. That's why I love it. There you
Mhm.
go. Those are
Well,
the details that I give.
as I said, we were going back on those we believe statements and looking at that strategic plan. And that's why we really were focusing in on the business, governments, and nonprofits, right? And bringing them in, because I believe that each of these groups wants to make their community nice. And so whether they're in Salem, and Russ, you and I have both been members of the Salem Chamber, and you're involved in chambers in many communities. And we know that everyone is working their best to provide jobs, to provide safety, security, those basic infrastructure items that members of the community need, and will attract more businesses and more members, and cause, I'll say, a controlled growth. And that's really what you're trying to work out.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Scott, so let's wrap it up this way. Let's start by, if I missed any details about the Waco experience, tell me. Number two, what is your gold nugget of our conversation today for everybody to remember? And number three, tell everybody when the Waco experience is on and all of that and how to get in
Mhm.
touch with you. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ready, go.
All right. Well, first of all of the infrastructure is being built. So this is marketing with Russ. So what do you start with? Well, you start with the we believe statements. I believe that business, government, nonprofit all want to make their community nice. So that's the foundation. So building a website, thewacoexperience.com. Not released yet, but coming soon. All the branding that goes with it. We've got a logo very close. Now we just have to get some things finalized about that. Getting episode 0 of the podcast recorded and released so that it activates all of the triggers that put it on the various podcast platforms. So on Apple and Spotify and Google Music and all those different places that you can find podcasts. So those all have to be put into place. And so we're right in the midst, and this is the early stage. So people want to reach out and go, Scott, how do you do this? How did you get onto the radio? How do you put these things together? Please reach out to me, dscottsmith.com. Scott@dscottsmith.com is my email. So the golden nugget just goes back to whatever business that you're trying to start, or you want to help start or restart or tweak a little bit so they're better. Start with the we believe statements. What is it that you believe about your business? And once you have that, everything else will fall into place and your decision making will be so much easier.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, as always, so insightful, full of wisdom, and appreciate you so much, my friend. You know that I do. And give everybody, I've had your LinkedIn ticking along the bottom. What else do you got besides LinkedIn so people can get in touch with you?
Yeah. So Scott@dscottsmith.com is my email. dscottsmith.com is my primary website where you can find the contact information to reach out in the way that you want to reach out. If you want to call, you want to email, you want to message me on LinkedIn, my LinkedIn profile is there, as well as Facebook and Instagram, all of those kind of major platforms. Where you want to find me, I'll be there for you.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, and magically enough, all of that is in the comments. All of that is in the show notes. And you can just click on that stuff and go straight to Scott. So there you go. Simple as that. And Scott, I just really want to tell you how much I appreciate you. Thanks for being on today and always there at a moment's notice for me. I appreciate you. And so I'm going to say goodbye to you, but hang tight. You know the routine. Hang tight in the green room. I'll be right there. Hey, everybody. Okay, well, I couldn't think of a better guest than my good friend D. Scott Smith, who is my partner in crime, so much live streaming, and is really instrumental in my life and my business. And so I appreciate him so much. I would listen to every word Scott says. I'd go to dscottsmith.com. I'd email him at scott@dscottsmith.com. I would stay in touch with Scott and watch the live streams that we do together, that he does by himself, the Waco Experience, which is actually a radio show that becomes a podcast that will also be released on social media a while after that. So you're going to want to look for that as well. And Scott's just a blessing. And so what we're here for is to add value to you, to lift your day, to encourage you, inspire you, and give you something to hold on to make your life better. And Scott's a good example of that. So anyway, with that, I just want to say thanks everybody for being here. It's been amazing. You know what? We're here every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your viewing and listening pleasure. That's right. After we're off, this stays on all the podcasts, all the platforms that we broadcast on, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook forever. So you can go back and watch that. If you do watch on replay, which a ton of people do, please put #Team Replay. But if you don't have time to watch the video, it also releases on audio podcast, on Spotify, on Amazon, on iTunes, all your favorite podcast platforms. It'll be there. So if you want to jog, run, put on your makeup, cook, whatever you want to do and listen to the show, you can actually do that. So there you go. Anyway, with that, we're going to say goodbye for today. Thanks so much, everybody, for being here. You're all a blessing. Without you, we would have no show. So have an awesome week. We'll talk to you. See you later. Bye.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.